What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of RTB Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Moore. Hope you are doing well whenever you are listening to this one. NASCAR weekend in Dover wrapped up. 3 NASCAR series. Technically, ARCA series is not a NASCAR series, but NASCAR does own this series. Brendan Queen won the ARCA series race. Kyra Zilic won the Xfinity Series race, and Denny Hamlin won the Cup Series race. The Cup Series race, guys, I gotta get right into it, but I want to just quickly run through the R2 series. Brendan Queen won the ARCA Series race, his 4th win of the season. He's currently have a 26-point lead in the ARCA Series standings. It's impressive to see what Brendan Queen has done. He's 27 years old. He's on the older side when it comes to, I'm not sure what Brendan Queen's goal is if his goal is trying to get to the Cup Series, he definitely has to pick the progress up quicker. But if his goal is just to race in NASCAR and any opportunity he gets, he's going to take it, then he's very young. And it's impressive. I know he raced in the Car Series for a bunch of years, late model racing, short track racing. I know he got a couple opportunities last year to race for Track on Garage in the Truck Series. I'm not sure how he did there, but now he's with a really good Chevrolet team. I don't know their actual name, and he's winning races, and he's the best truck, right? He's the best car right now in the ARCA Series, best driver in the ARCA Series. He held off Corey Heim at the Michigan race. That was impressive. He's impressive for what he's doing. He dominated this race and led 150 laps. So impressive to see. It's impressive to see what he's doing. I've been saying impressive multiple times. But I'm excited to see where what the future looks like for Brendan Queen. Now in the ARCA Series race, Kyra Zilic gets the win. The race ended short. They ran 134 laps, which was only 134 miles of the 200-mile race. It was raining hard. The rain stopped, but the time they would have dried the track, it would have been too dark. This is 4th win for Kyra Zilic. I believe he is now the winningest driver in the Xfinity Series so far this season. This was Junior Motorsports' 7th win in the Xfinity Series in 10 races. If you want a little more specific, this was their 8th win in 11 races. What Junior Motorsports is doing this year is, it's not surprising, but it isn't. It's still impressive because, you would think you would think Jugga's Racing would be a little bit closer, but I just don't think the crop of drivers that Jugga's Racing has when it comes to talent level and maybe experience is to that same level. I think the only 2 full-time guys Jugga's Racing has is Taylor Gray and Brandon Jones. And they have a part-time car and a 19 car. I'm trying to think if there's a 4th one. I'm probably missing whatever that 4th car is. But they just don't have as much, experience in their full-time drivers. I think that's what's hurting Jugga's Racing when it comes to winning races. There's still winning races here and there with Brandon Jones, and I think Eric Almirola won a race this year so far. I forget. But what Junior Motorsports is doing is just dominating the Xfinity Series schedule. And what Kyra Zilic is doing is just showing why he is most likely going to be getting a Cup Series opportunity at the age of 19. He'll be 19 by the time next year's Cup Series season starts. At the beginning of the season, Zilic he was fast at the ovals, but couldn't put a full race together. He wasn't, maybe some mistakes from him, some mistakes from his pit crew. Now he's putting together those full oval races. He won at Pocono, and now he won at Dover. I feel like Dover is more of a true oval. I know Pocono is classified as an oval, but it is a triangle, that's how I look at it. But this was Zilic's first true oval win, and he dominated the race. I felt like Eric Almirola was his closest competition, but that final, Eric had a really good, long-run car there. I got really close to Zilic, but I know Zilic was talking about how it was hard to get through that traffic, and that's what allowed Almirola to kind of get to Zilic, because it looked like Connor struggled in the lap traffic, and maybe Almirola did a better job through it. But then the pit stop after stage 2 to go into stage 3, Almirola had a slow stop. He lost some spots. It would have been interesting to see if Almirola was side by side on that, what was the final restart, if he maybe could have stayed with Zilic there and maybe got to him, past him. But I don't know how many laps they ran in that final stage, how many laps they ran in stage 3. So he might have still needed more laps even, if Almirola's car was better in the long run, he would have probably needed some more laps. But your top 10 was Zilic first, second Eric Almirola, third Brandon Jones, fourth Justin Allgaier, fifth Jesse Love, sixth Ryan Sieg 7th, Taylor Gray 8th, Sean Creed in 9th, Williams Walsh and 10th, Christian Eckes, Kyle Zilch led 77 laps. And Taylor Gray, who was on the pole, it was his third pole, led 49 laps. And then Brandon Jones led 5. Taylor Gray won stage 1 and Zilch led stage 2. I don't know how many races are left in the regular season. There's still a couple races left there, but it's going to get, I know right now, I think the battle right now in the cup line is between Jeb Burton and Harrison Burton. So that'll be, Cousins going after that final playoff spot. But if we get some new winners below that, could really shake it up. So it'll be kind of fun to follow that one along in the Xfinity Series. Now the Cup Series race. What a Cup Series race, y'all. Denny Hamlin gets the win. He holds off Chase Briscoe, his teammate Chase Briscoe, when Chase Briscoe was on like 40-plus newer tires. He held him off in the final restart. They were side by side. It was hard racing. Hamlin was on the outside, had the momentum. They go into turn 3. Briscoe's there, coming to the white flag. They make contact. It loses the momentum for Briscoe. Hamlin clears him into 1, and Hamlin takes home the victory, finishing off the final lap. I don't know how he did it, guys. Held off a guy with 40-plus newer tires. This is Hamlin's 4th win this season. He's the winningest Cup Series driver currently this season. This is his 2nd win in a row at Dover, his 3rd win at Dover all time. He's now won 58 Cup Series races in his career. He's only 2 away from 60. He also ran the fastest lap on the race. You want to know when he ran the fastest lap of the race? It was on the last lap. Doesn't make any sense. He ran a faster lap than a guy who had 40-plus lap newer tires. It doesn't make any sense, guys. But I gotta say, what Hamlin is doing at age 44 is just incredible. And Hamlin had to do a lot. He had to persevere a lot. He had to not give up. There was multiple restarts. He had to hold off Christopher Bell for, 40-plus laps there before the rain delay. He had to go through and sit through a rain delay and then have to fight off 3 restarts. And he's able to do it all to win the race, man. It was impressive to watch. Now we have multiple restarts. Not multiple restarts. We have multiple tracks coming out that Hamlin has won at. So there's a chance he can easily win more than 4 races this year. So really just remarkable for what Hamlin is doing at the age of 44. But how in the world was Denny Hamlin able to hold off Chase Briscoe with newer tires? Chase Briscoe, like I said, had 44-plus lap newer tires. I don't know. I know there was a rain delay. It washed on the rubber up, so the track was very green, And I know Denny Hamlin said if someone told him that he was running laps with newer tires, he would have believed him because he couldn't tell the difference out on the racetrack. And I know it sounds like there's this new Goodyear tire for this next-gen car. It doesn't wear that much in general, and it doesn't wear that much on concrete tracks. So it could be a thing with Dover and concrete tracks. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but I'm looking forward to hopefully learning from these podcasts about why Hamlin was able to hold off Chase Briscoe. It also could have been due to the fact that, clean air is important and how, dirty air is so bad with these cars. If you're in dirty air, your car drives terrible. It drives bad. So I think there's a lot that were factors in this race, man, but it blew my mind because I was expecting Chase Briscoe to just blow by Denny Hamlin. He was on the newer tires. The strategy worked out where he was able to get to the front, but he didn't. He couldn't do it. So like I just said, looking forward to learning why this was possible. Maybe Denny Hamlin is just so good of a driver, which I think he is. And I think Denny Hamlin was just able to, Denny Hamlin knew what he had to do. He knew how to drive and stay side by side and keep his momentum. And it just all worked out for Denny Hamlin to get his 58th career Cup Series win. Very impressive. Very impressive. And I know Denny Hamlin talked about that it would have really hurt if he lost this one because all the stuff he went through. So impressive, like I just said. And just the stuff that he had to do. He had 2, before the Chase Briscoe restart, he had 2 in the restarts with his teammate Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell ended up crashing out on the exit of turn 4. It was turn 4. I'm not sure why I said turn 3. It was turn 4. That took out William Byron. That took out Noah Gragson. They both hit really hard. William Byron and Noah Gragson both hit really hard. And then there was another restart after that when Hamlin cleared Larson. When Larson was up there, it was Zane Smith crashed, Ryan Preece crashed. Man, yeah, it was wild. These wildfire restarts. We had a 56-minute rain delay. And it was around with like 17 laps to go. Ross Chastain crashed. And right around that same time, rain came. And I gotta say, guys, I'm going to praise NASCAR for not calling the race there. They had enough daylight. The storm came through, but then right after that, the sun came out, and they were able to dry the track pretty quickly and get us back out there racing. And I think it was great that the fans that paid their hard-earned money to go watch a race at Dover got to see a full race. You know, after the Xfinity Series race getting shortened, it was great they got to see a full race. And I think it was worth it for every fan that chose to stay there and watch the rest of that race. I think that they got their money's worth even more. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. The way I looked at the rain delay was like, all right, we're going to have this like really short end of the race. It almost felt like the Kentucky Derby because TNT was interviewing all these drivers that were a factor in the race, all these drivers that were going to have a factor at the end of this race. So it was like all this build up for this short little sprint to the race. The Kentucky Derby is all this build up for one lap. So that was a cool part of NASCAR not choosing to end the race and allowing us to have this little build up to this final stretch. So I praise NASCAR for not calling the race there when they easily could have. They easily could have if they wanted to. And I wouldn't understand. You know, it was only going to be, it ended up, I think, only being like 7 laps to go when they threw the green flag for the final stretch there. Yeah, I gotta say, guys, you know, the way the end of this race all played out was all through strategy and people. You know, it was a big talking point. Do you stay out or you get new tires? Well, we thought the new tires were going to be a benefit, and they were, but they weren't a big enough benefit for, you know, Chase Briscoe to be able to get the win. But a bunch of drivers that chose to stay out on older tires got hurt from that. I know Chase Elliott was on older tires, and I think he lost a couple spots because he just had some bad restarts there, and then those newer tires got to him. Now, we got to talk about Chase Briscoe here. Not Chase Briscoe, sorry. Chase Elliott. We got to talk about Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott dominated this race. He won stage 1. Bad pit stop in stage 2. I think he finished like 5th or something because he lost in stop. It was a bad green flag pit stop. Well, in stage 3, he was the leader again. Christopher Bell spins out. We go back green, and Chase Elliott is leading this race. He's dominating this race. We're coming to our stage 3 pit stops. So Chase Elliott pits, Hamlin pits, all the leaders pit. Well, then we have a rare cadence here, and a caution comes out for rain. It was going to be a small little storm, not enough to end the race. Christopher Bell, who just spun out, ran long, got a caution. It was right when Bell was about to pit, and then the team told him it was about to rain, so he stayed out. He heard and saw rain coming down, so he stayed out. And they only ran around like 7 laps or 10 laps on their tires. And I was like, well, there's probably no point in pitting if you're leaders, but, you know, Bell is going to pit, and he's going to stay in the top 10 because there was only 7 cars in the lead lap. And for some reason, Chase Elliott, who was a leader, he chose to pit and take only right side tires. And Jeff Luck posted a nice little transcript of their whole conversation. And I guess, you know, Alan Gustafson, it was his decision to come down and pit and take right side tires. And I gotta say, guys, it was probably the wrong decision. But I'm no crew chief. I'm not gonna go in here and tell you why he was wrong. And I'm not. We thought tires were gonna matter, but it sounds like they didn't really matter. You know, if Chase Elliott probably would have won this race if he didn't choose to pit there and take right sides, because Hamlin was able to hold off Bell on older tires. He was able to hold off all these guys on, you know, older tires, but then also newer tires. So I think you could say that maybe Alan Gustafson cost Chase Elliott the win here. But it's a team sport. Elliott allowed Alan Gustafson to make the decision, and it just didn't play out in their favor. Um, and look, I know a lot of Chase Elliott fans are not going to be happy about it. And I've already seen all the comments, but I'm no expert. I'm not a crew chief. I'm not here to go bash a crew chief because who am I? I'm no expert. I have no right to talk about a decision like that. If you come and take tires or you don't take tires, none of that. But I do think it probably, if you Monday morning quarterback, you take this from a wide lens, you can say that decision cost Chase Elliott the win. But Chase Elliott had a super fast car. I mean, he won stage 1. I would say the guys that were the best in this race, I thought Hendrick was super fast. Elliott was the best. I thought Byron was the second best. I would say Bowman was the third best. And then Larson, I think finished third in this race. He was started outside the top 20 because of the rained out qualifying practice and just worked his way to the front, right? So I would say Hendrick was really fast. Like, Elliott has been fast, but then Jacobs Racing was super fast. I think Bell was better than Hamlin, but I think mistakes cost Bell. Like, he spun out twice here in this race that cost him a good finish. But I think he was fast. I think he was running faster lap times than Chase Elliott. Hamlin was really good, like we just talked about. He was probably the second best Gibbs car. I think there was a time there in stage 2. I think the stage 2, let me see here. Stage 2, Chris Bell is Jacobs Racing. Alex Bowman is hang on. Yeah, let me see here. Bowman, Hamlin, Elliott, Larson, Byron, Briscoe, Gibbs. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. In stage 2, all 8 between Jacobs Racing and Hendrick Motorsports were all inside the top 10. That just shows you, man, the best teams are up front. It was a Gibbs versus Hendrick type of day. So that tells you about that one. But there's so much, guys, I can go in detail. I know the 22 bumped the 1. I know Hamlin was mad. Hamlin got the lead, came out of pit road after Chase Elliott's bad pit stop. Hamlin got passed. Well, Hamlin, I guess, Hamlin was getting livid by Ty Dillon because Ty Dillon was trying not to go a lap down, and I know Hamlin was getting mad at Ty Dillon for he was burning up his. I have the quote. Yeah, he says, "I'm just burning up my crap up with this effing idiot." Denny Hamlin says of Ty Dillon. Yeah, Denny Hamlin was not mad about not happy with Ty Dillon. That probably definitely cost the lead there for Hamlin, but in the grand scheme of things, it didn't really matter in this one. Man, guys, I have so many notes, but I feel like I'm just all over the place. I do want to talk about, at the end of stage 1, this is brand new tire. They had a lap 35 competition caution for this brand new tire. There really wasn't much wear, but we ran, I think it was like a 70 lap stint there, 80 lap stint there, and we saw some tire issues there at the end of stage 1. We saw the 43 car go up in the wall, but he hit it. Aaron Jones hits the wall. He slows up, but NASCAR doesn't throw the yellow. It was near the end of stage 2, and Aaron Jones was not happy about from Matt Weaver. Effing NASCAR, man. We have a wrecked race car, and they're running around us here at 180 mile an hour. Look, man, in Aaron Jones' defense, we've seen where NASCAR has thrown a yellow for a car that just grazes the wall. And then here, Aaron Jones was slow. I thought they were going to throw the yellow, but they never chose to throw the yellow. Yeah, man. Really, overall, this race, guys, I would say Dover. I will say that I think what the issue with Dover is that, one, I think the tire doesn't wear enough, and also it's concrete. It's because it's a concrete track. It's also not really. There is multiple grooves, but the only time there's multiple grooves is when the tire wears. But it's not like really the bottom is the dominant lane. But we did see opportunities where you did see drivers move around. When the tires wore, you saw drivers go towards the top. You saw drivers able to make the momentum. We saw guys get runs on each other. So I think Dover, if it wasn't for the rain and when it came and the cautions came, we probably would have saw a pretty straightforward race. Now, it would have definitely been interesting there, with how good, depending on how good Bell was. I thought Bell was as good as Elliott, but also Hamlin was really good. So who knows what this race would have looked like. It probably wouldn't have been as exciting if it wasn't for some weather to get involved. We look at our finishing results. Hamlin was first, second, Chase Briscoe, third, Alex Bowman, fourth, Kyle Larson. Great run for Kyle Larson. We talked about if he's on a slump. He comes on with a top 5 finish. He was in the mix. He had a chance to win. That's what we expect from Kyle Larson every single week. Now we're going to Indianapolis, a place he won last year. I'll be curious, can he go out there and go back-to-back at the Brickyard? Will be fun to watch. Fifth, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs finished ahead of Tyler Reddick, and Ty Gibbs is going to the finals in the in-season tournament. What a drive. Great job. Stay out of trouble. Just put a complete race together and got it done. Chase Elliott finished 6th in this race. We already talked about it in this podcast, but I don't know, guys. Chase Elliott was leading this race in Stage 3 after the Stage 3 pit stops. We had that caution, and some guys chose to pit. And for some reason, Chase Elliott, because of Alan Gustafson, he said, Chase Elliott's crew chief, Alan Gustafson, told Chase Elliott to come down and take right side tires. And we can really say if Chase Elliott chose not to pit and kept the leader, stayed the leader, he probably would have won this race because Chase Elliott pitting gave the lead to Denny Hamlin, and Denny Hamlin never pitted from then and won the race. So, look, I know I already see on social media that a lot of fans are attacking Alan Gustafson about this, and I'm not really going to give you my thoughts because I'm not a crew chief. Look, man, sometimes you hit it, sometimes you make the right call, and sometimes you make the wrong call. It's a team sport. You make mistakes, and there's a lot of probably crew chiefs in NASCAR history that wish they never made that one call, and they never made that one decision. But that's part of, life, that's part of sports, and that's just part of it in the NASCAR world. Now we move on here. 7th, Bubba Wallace. 8th, Ryan Blaney. 9th, Chris Buescher. 10th, Brad Keselowski. 11th, Kyle Busch. 12th, Tyler Reddick finished 12th. He was another top 10 title car day, but, with the restarts, it was on newer tires. It seemed like a really aggressive at the end of that race. He definitely didn't get the finish he probably deserved. 13th, Michael McDowell. 14th, Joey Logano. 15th, Austin Dillon. 16th, Austin Cindric. 17th, Justin Haley. 18th, Christopher Bale. Great rebound for Christopher Bale. He spun out twice right in this race, spun out at the end. I mean, on top 20 isn't really impressive, and it doesn't really mean much for Christopher Bale. But still, somehow still finish top 20 with spinning there at the end. Just showed how fast he was today. I guess I don't think. I mean, I don't know there. The restart, he spun out there and turned 4 with Denny Hamlin. We don't know if he was able to stay side by side. Would he have cleared Hamlin? We don't know. So you can't say that he was going to win this race, but, definitely would have had, a second place finish or a top 5 finish. So definitely a disappointment there at the end for Christopher Bale. 19th, Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece was running really well in top 15, but got in the accident there at the end. Killed some speed. 20th, Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon. The second to last restart, he came down. He got the wave around due to the caution. John Nemechek wasn't able to get the wave around. That's what allowed Ty Dillon to get the win. John Hunter finished 21st. Man, what a great battle. The in-season tournament battles were awesome because they were just back and forth all day. 22nd, Zane Smith. 23rd, Reese Dallas Jr. 24th, Riley Herbst. 25th, Todd Gilliland. 26th, Daniel Suarez. 27th, Eric Jones. 28th, Josh Berry. 29th, Cole Custer. 30th, Shane Van Gisbergen had issues early in this race. He was qualified 6th. Tires, something was going, he had a tire going down, pitted on pit road, and then I didn't hear a thing about him at the rest of the race. William Byron finished 31st. Big hit for William Byron. The points he's no longer in the regular season points leader after getting involved in that wreck there on the first restart after the rain delay. Really was just not his doing, but it was a big hit, but luckily he was okay. Definitely, William Byron's day was the definition of a good day gone really, really bad. Noah Gragson, another guy who was running 8th. Noah Gragson was another guy that was having a really good day for him to then a really bad day. And then Ross Chastain, he had issues hitting the wall. J.J. Daly Carson Hocevar, Cody Ware, and AJ Allmendinger, they all had issues, and that's why they finished where they were. If we look at the playoff standings after Dover with only 5 races left into the playoffs, Hamlin is the leader with 4 wins. But we go down to the playoffs standings. Tyler Reddick is the highest seeding. Tyler Reddick is the highest seeding driver that's not have a win. He is plus 156. Alex Bowman is plus 63. Chris Buescher plus 44. Bubba Wallace is plus 16. And then Ryan Preece is minus 16. A great day for Bubba Wallace because they were within 3 points at the start of this race, and now they're 10 plus points. So Bubba Wallace maximized his day. So good job by him. Preece, got involved in that wreck. That probably killed some of the points. With Kyle Busch minus 39, Ty Gibbs minus 52, and Michael McDowell minus 77. I gotta say, I think when it comes to Preece, when it comes to Busch, Gibbs, and McDowell, I think they're all in must-wins. And just the performance right now when it comes to Busch, I just don't think he's going to point himself in. And maybe even with Gibbs is running really good, but I don't think he has enough time. And then the same thing with Michael McDowell. We can also think about Carson Hocevar and Brad Keselowski. Guys that have all shown some speed. They're all going to need wins. But hey, guys, 5 races left. We go to Indianapolis, then we go to Iowa, then we go to Watkins Glen Road Course, then we go to Richmond. Richmond and Iowa are kind of shaped the same, short tracks. And then we go to Daytona, the regular season finale. I think every driver that isn't really showing the speed on the short tracks and the road courses is setting their eyes all on Daytona. Daytona is going to be fireworks, and I'm looking forward to it. Now we're looking at the regular season point standings, guys. Chase Elliott is the new regular season point standings leader after Dover. Dover didn't go away. Chase Elliott probably was hoping. He was probably the best car. He dominated this race. Probably deserved to win this race, but just things didn't work out. He led 238 laps, but he gets to come out as the regular season points leader. If you win the regular season points championship, you get an additional 15 playoff points going into the playoffs. Currently, Chase Elliott has a 16-point lead over William Byron. William Byron lost that lead. Who knows? I think maybe Byron kind of lost that lead due to him getting in the wreck there when Christopher Bell spun. He had a big hit, but luckily Byron was okay. Larson is minus 38. And Hamlin is minus 39. Reddick is minus 62, but I don't think he has a chance. I really think it comes down to Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. There's still going to be a lot to happen to Elliott and Byron. And Elliott and Byron are running their top 5 guys every single week. So, really, I think it's going to come down to Byron and Elliott, most likely, with only 5 races left. But we've seen a lot of wild things in NASCAR. Who knows? Anything can happen in the world of stock car racing. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the in-season tournament. Ty Dillon will face Ty Gibbs in the final. The Cinderella story continues for Ty Dillon. He'll be going against the number 16 in Ty Gibbs. What a race this was. Up and down. It was an up and down battle between Ty Gibbs and Tyler Reddick for that final spot. Both guys were flip-flopping spots there. The lead there. Those 2 guys were racing in the top 10. And then I felt like it was John Hernandez and Ty Dillon. They were kind of racing in the top 20. What allowed Ty Dillon to get the spot and get the advancement was due to there was the second to last restart. There was a caution, and Ty Dillon was able to get the lucky dog and get the lead lap and do the wave around. So he was able to get that one spot. John Hunter finished 21st. Ty Dillon finished 20th. Gotta be really bumming, but they made it really fun. It was really fun watching both Nemechek's and Dillon's social media kind of building up some good hype for the event. And then, like I said, Tyler Reddick and Ty Gibbs, both guys racing hard, just worked out with the final couple restarts. Gibbs was able to get the spots he needed. It seemed like with those newer tires, Reddick was able to get the spots and really move up there. And I think Reddick finished 12th and Gibbs finished 5th. But going to Indianapolis, I would say that Gibbs is going to be super fast. And I would expect him to be the guy to win this, but who knows? We don't know. I mean, I didn't expect Ty Dillon to get this far, but he's found a way, And it's going to be fun. It'll be a great little storyline, a great little battle to see how it all unfolds at the Brickyard. It's going to be fun. I'm picking Ty Gibbs, but I would love to see Ty Dillon, because that would be a sick story to see. Well, guys, that is the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. I always enjoy making these things, guys. I definitely, like I said, I just wish I could do better at trying to explain things to you guys. But it's hard. I get confusing, and I also never try to be the expert. I never want to try to make someone think that I know what I'm talking about, which I guess I want them to, but I just never want to try to claim to be an expert, because I'm not. I would encourage you guys to listen to Actions Detrimental, Danny Hellman's podcast, Door Up Upper Clear, the Dale Jr. Down Low, Money Lap. Those are all great podcasts to listen to if you want to get a better insight on the sport of NASCAR. But overall, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Looking forward to next week for the Brickyard 400. Have a good week, y'all. See you then. Goodbye.